Okay, it is working. Yay. So I call this Architectural Review Committee meeting to order. Roll call.
Committee Member Rivera,
Present.
Chair Bouchard,
Present.
Committee Member Haas.
Present.
Let the record show Committee Member Kiefer is absent.
May I have confirmation of the agenda?
There are no changes to the agenda.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the minutes from our previous meeting?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion. I'll vote to approve it.
Okay.
Click green. Boom.
Let the record show the minutes for December 6th have been approved. Motioned by Committee Member Rivera, seconded by Chair Bouchard. Approved 3-0.
Thank you. Public comments?
I received no speaker slips.
So do I need to read that statement?
Yes, sorry.
Okay. Dang. During this part of the meeting, the public is invited to address the Architectural Review Committee on any matter not on the agenda. If you wish to speak on an agenda item, please wait to be recognized under that item. Except for special circumstances, the Brown Act prohibits the Architectural Review Committee or staff from responding or taking action on any comments made by the public unless it pertains to an item that appears on the agenda. All speakers should give their name and city of residence and limit their remarks to 3 minutes.
I received no speaker slips.
Okay. New business. Item number 1, conditional use permit number 22-006, review of the unmanned wireless communication facility, including a 70-foot monopalm ancillary ground-mounted equipment and landscaping within the planned community commercial zone district, and recommended Planning Commission approval.
Okay. Good evening, committee. Manuel Rocha, Assistant Planner here at the City of Cotiro City. Today I bring before you a conditional use permit number 22006 for a wireless telecommunication facility by the applicant Will Kazemi on behalf of AT&T Wireless. The proposed project is located at 68051 Ramode Road within the property of the Palm Springs Bowling Alley. The property is zoned planned community commercial with a general plan designation of general commercial. The properties located to the north and east are zoned planned community commercial and are developed with commercial uses. The vacant property to the south is zoned multiple family residential, and the property to the southeast is zoned multiple family residential and is developed with multifamily uses. The vacant property to the west is located within the city of Palm Springs. The photos you see here are a view of the location of the proposed wireless telecommunication facility. The proposed facility will be located in the existing planner area shown here where the arrow is pointed. The other photo shows the currently existing enclosures located in front of the proposed facility that can be seen. The site plan depicts a 554 square foot lease area located to the rear of the existing bowling alley. Within the lease area is a proposed telecommunication facility, which includes ground and wall equipment enclosure, along with the telecommunications tower and surrounding landscaping. The proposed project will result in the elimination of 3 existing parking stalls. However, the minimum parking requirement for the Palm Springs Bowling Alley will still be met with a total of 186 stalls. Here, the elevations for the proposed monopalm structure and CMU enclosure can be seen. The leased area is enclosed by a 11-foot, 4 inches high concrete masonry block wall with a wrought iron topper. The topper will not be visible and is intended to limit access into the enclosure area. The enclosure area includes the proposed 70-foot high south tower disguised as a monopalm and ground and wall mounting equipment to support the cell tower. The enclosure will prevent the ancillary equipment from being visible from the public right of view from the parking lot. The enclosure will match the material and color of the existing building and will also contain anti-graffiti coat. The enclosure will contain caution, warning, and information signage as well. As mentioned, the applicant is proposing a 70-foot antenna structure. The top of the proposed antenna measures at 65 feet in height, with the top of the monopalm fronds measuring at 70 feet in height. The monopalm will contain imitation fronds that will be painted in a green color. A covered DC power and fiber trunk will be routed underground and inside the monopalm. The ground equipment will include an AC generator, a concrete walk-in cabinet, along with other ground and wall mounting equipment. The equipment will be completely screened from view by the proposed CMU enclosure. The monopalm will consist of 6 8-foot-long panel antennas and 1 4-foot-long microwave antenna, which will be screened and concealed with the imitation fronds. Desert landscaping will be provided within the existing planter beds located around the proposed facility. The landscaping will include trees such as the Palo Verde and California fan palm, in addition to the green carpet, plum shrub, and the pink powder puff vine. The photo shows what would be the view of the facility if it were viewed from the southeast from the parking lot. Staff recommends that the ARC recommend Planning Commission approval of conditional permit number 22006. I conclude my presentation and I am available for any questions.
Open for questions.
Can you go back to the slide that had that like photo type illustration? Not the drawing one,
The render.
that one. So is that really, is that the product?
Yes.
That is the actual product, okay.
So renderings.
And is that a reasonable representation of height of the two flanking trees, the palm trees?
That is correct. So the enclosure will be 11 feet 4 inches, as mentioned. Just as a comparison, I did include the photo of the existing enclosures. Just to give an example, it would be those enclosures located right there are around 6 feet, and the proposed one would be double the size.
Any chance of getting the two live palms a little bit taller? I mean, this has been the arrangement typically, that when the applicant comes in, we get a couple of live palms to kind of create the illusion that it's a group of 3 live trees.
Are you referring to the landscaping or?
The 2 proposed live trees. This is proposed live palm,
Uh-huh.
and there's one on each side of the antenna array.
Correct.
And I was asking, is it possible to get one a little bit taller than that?
Oh, okay. So the applicant is here if he is available for questions as well.
Okay.
So that'd be more of a question for the applicant.
Because overall, I mean, this location is so far back from Ramon Road. If we're going to have one, this is like the best place to have one.
Definitely.
Okay.
I don't have any other questions.
No, either. Yeah, I think because of the location, just some extra income for that property, so I'm all for it.
Do we have any questions for the applicant?
I don't.
You know, I'm going to take back what I said. The truth of it is that the bowling alley building is, because it's a tall building, no one's ever going to see this. You'll see a little hint of it from Ramon Road popping up over the top of the building.
Definitely a great spot for a cell tower.
Yeah. Cool. Okay.
Did you guys have questions for the applicant?
So, no, in
No,
that case,
okay.
no questions.
Okay. Thank you.
Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll do a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Are there any public comments for this item? No. And
Thank you.
then-
Thank you. Roll call. Vote.
Okay, so let the record show that the item was, motion was made by Committee Member Haas, seconded by Committee Member Rivera to approve conditional use permit number 22-006, approved 3-0.
Item number 2, design review 23-001 Grove Apartments, review of the proposed site plan, architecture, and landscape plans for construction of a 19-unit residential apartment project on approximately .68-acre site within the downtown residential neighborhood zoning district, and recommended planning commission approval.
Chair Burchard? Chair Burchard, prior to the presentation, I just wanted to introduce our contract planner for this for today.
Okay.
We are contracting with M&S Engineering to assist on some development projects. This is Ivana Velasco, our contract planner.
She's presenting this item?
She is.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ivana Velasco. I am here to present again design review number 23-001 for the Silver Rock Grove Apartments. So I have indicated the project using a red outline. It will be between Cove Lane and Grove Street. The nearest major cross streets are Cathedral Canyon and Palm Canyon Drive. I would like to mention that the site is also located in the downtown residential neighborhood zone. The DRN and multifamily developments are one of the permitted uses. Here I have street view images from Cove Lane and Grove Street. The lot remains vacant and flat, and there is minimal disturbance. From Cove Lane, facing south of the project, you are able to see some single-family dwellings as well as a senior living development. From Grove Street, facing north of the project, there are some commercial businesses. So to begin, the applicant is proposing a 3-story, 19-unit residential apartment complex that will consist of 4 attached buildings, attached garage, surface parking, and the development will have private driveways. To get a better visual understanding, I have color-coded the core components. So the teal outlines the fencing around the development. A block retaining wall will be placed with a tubular steel fence on top, all for a max of 6 feet, a max height of 6 feet. The yellow is showing all the surface level parking for residents and guests. The orange is showing the private garages. The applicant is proposing 20 garages, and they sit below the proposed units. The blue is the primary building showing the first 3 units of the project. These are the accessible units, and if you can see the red dashed lines, that is the accessible path of travel that goes through the corridor into the common area, and it will lead down a ramp to the parkway on Grove Street. The purple is showing the common area for residents. And as far as site circulation, I have circled all of the entrances and exits to the development. Here's a closer image of the trash enclosure and common area. So there will be a covered patio with outdoor furniture, an electric barbecue, as well as a fountain, all surrounded by various trees and shrubs, which I will go into further detail in the presentation, later in the presentation. I also pointed out the trash staging room to the right. The plans do indicate that residents will have access to the trash staging room through the common area, and trash services will also have access through the parking lot. So here is the first floor. These, as I mentioned, are the 3 accessible units. So there will be 2 one-bedroom units and 1 two-bedroom unit. All will have their own private decks. On the first floor, as mentioned, are the garage spaces. Along the corridor, you will see 3 rentable storage units, and at the end of the corridor, there are the residential mailboxes and stairs on the left and right of the building. Here is the second floor. There will be 4 two-bedroom units, 2 one-bedrooms, and 2 studios. I would like to point out that the 3 two-bedroom units that sit above the garage are a little different from the two-bedroom unit that sits in the center. They will include a den area. All of these units will have their own private decks as well, and there is also another rentable storage unit. Here is the third floor. It is similar to the second floor. 4 two-bedroom units, 2 one-bedrooms, and 2 studios. The only difference here is that the decks do project outside of the building, and this is where you would find roof access. Here we have the north and south elevations. The building will consist of neutral-colored stucco, faux wood siding, as well as metal accents along the corridor, around the private decks, and above the windows. I would like to mention the applicant is using building projections and recessions to create visual interest. And here we have the east and west elevations as well. So the east elevation is facing Buddy Rogers Avenue. West elevation is facing Cathedral Canyon Drive. It is the same material, neutral colored stucco, faux wood siding, and you can still see some of the metal accents as well. The 2 images below are the partial elevations, so this is what would be facing inside of the project. Lastly, we have the landscape plan. There will be various trees throughout the project, like the cascalotes, African sumacs, California hybrid fan palms. There will be shrubs as well, such as agave and birds of paradise. I would like to also mention the ground cover is proposed to be decomposed granite and cobble. Based on the information presented the project complies with the city's development standards and design guidelines. So staff is recommending that the committee recommend for approval. And that concludes my presentation. I am open for questions. The applicant is also here as well.
I have a couple of questions for the ground floor accessible units. Can you go to that slide, please?
Yeah. Here we go.
Can you explain, how do you get from the garage for these, from the accessible units to the garage that are assigned to these units?
The garage. So there is
I see
a,
just one, this is van accessible garage.
can you repeat that again?
I see that there's one van accessible garage, garage number 4.
Yes.
Okay, so where do the other 2 units, which garage units are theirs, and how do they get there?
So to enter the building, correct? That is what you're asking from the garage?
So
The garage?
let's say that you arrive at your home and you pull into the garage. How do you get from the garage to your respective unit?
So I do see that there is an opening on the right side in between the middle and right garage. I don't know if you see that door opening right there. There's one door opening that leads you to the corridor.
The garage, so each one is numbered. I see that there's a van accessible garage, garage number 4,
So between garage 13 and 16,
13 and 6.
there's a door opening along the corridor.
Okay, I see that.
Yeah, so there is that door opening there that would lead you into
Okay,
the
so
building.
how do you, if you have a wheelchair, how do you get out of the garage?
So the van accessible garage, there is also a door opening.
No, that one's good.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the other 2. How did they get out of the garage? If your car is in the garage and you have a single garage door, how do you squeeze by with the wheelchair?
I do only see one van accessible garage unit, garage space.
Okay, but these are 3 accessible units.
So there's also accessible parking, surface level parking as well.
The other thing,
It's in yellow.
excuse me, I'm sorry. The other thing to consider is that the requirement is for the one accessible unit, and the others have to be adaptable.
Okay, because they're all labeled as accessible, and you have to provide equal amendments
To them?
to them.
Okay. We can follow up with our.
That's not for us to decide here, but it should be flagged when it gets to the building department.
We will bring that up to the director, to the building official. Thank you.
So those are the 2 units need to say adaptable.
Well, it says adaptable, but if you're,
Slash accessible.
if you're not an ambulatory individual and you require assistance by wheelchair or walker, how do you get from the garage?
Yeah.
Once you pull in, that's a tight fit from the car through the garage door, the large
I
door.
disagree.
Apologies, if we could just make sure we're speaking into the mic. Thank you.
Sorry. Okay, then one other comment. I'll say that overall, it looks good. The building looks.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good addition to the city.
Yeah.
The south elevation, the windows are kind of stark. Is there any solar protection? I saw in some of the elevations, there are eyebrows that are identified with note number F.
Yeah, there are eyebrows, yes.
But a lot of these, it looks like they're operable windows that are, there is no solar protection at all.
Oh, are you pointing out the windows on the faux wood siding?
Give me a second.
The south is below. Yes, those. No eyebrows. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that is facing Grove Street.
Those are actually the only comments I have.
Yeah, the colors are great. The materials look great. Can you go to the landscape
Yeah.
one more time? Yeah, I have no comments. I think it's great. It looks awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
No comments?
No comments?
Yeah, looks good.
Okay, thank you.
I'll close public comments.
Do we have anybody in the audience who'd like to speak on this item?
Yeah, I was going to open for public comments and ask the applicant if they want to speak.
I can address some of the.
Could you address the microphone, please? Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Ethan Mizrahi. I am the applicant for the Grove Street Apartments. I'm up here if you have any questions regarding the window on the south side of the building and regarding the accessible units. I can provide further clarification for you.
Okay.
So if you look at the landscape plan, both garages directly across from the accessible units on the left and right side, there are two entries into the building from there. So there's like a landing pad, so technically someone that needed access could enter through those landing pads as well. And on the south side of the building, regarding the window U factor, we could increase the U factor by talking to our Title 24, so it would help the solar from going in, and that's something that probably could be addressed during the building comments.
Yeah. It's good on paper, but the reality is we live in a harsh desert, and that's an intense exposure, that south exposure.
Yeah, I mean, one thing they do is they put argon gas between the two different window panels, and it does help the
Understood.
sun coming
Yeah,
through.
understood. So can you walk me through the accessibility, the path of travel from the units to the accessible garage?
Sure. So, is there a way I can point with the mouse? Yeah, here. So from this garage in particular, where the mouse is? Okay, so this unit, so that gets this guy. Yes. So your front door to the unit would be here and here. And there's access right here for this garage. So whoever's maybe living in this unit, for example, could travel this way out of the unit, up through here, and into this garage. That's a landing, yeah. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. But in addition, like Ivana mentioned, we have some parking spaces that aren't in the garages that might be able to be used for that purpose.
Anyway, it's That's the only downside to this project as proposed is that. Unlike building codes, ADA it's a federal mandate. It's a civil rights law.
Yeah, and this project, I believe, has complied with all the requirements in that sense. We've hired a very prestigious architecture firm, and we're working with local engineers who are familiar with the area. And a lot of these comments were, there was a lot of back and forth on the accessible items during the planning review, which we started last summer. I wish I had more detailed information for you, but that's all I have for you right now. But we could provide further clarification and prepare exhibits for you if you like.
Yeah, I mean, we're here for architecture. We're here for architecture.
Right, you mentioned that this could be passed on to the building review.
Yeah.
That's why I said this is outside of our mandate, that I would hope that the building department would pick this up.
Okay.
But,
I have no further comments, but
Okay.
if you have any other questions for me, I'm happy to answer
no,
them.
but otherwise,
Beautiful,
beautiful project.
beautiful project.
Yeah, we're very excited about it, and we're really hoping to move forward quickly on construction, especially with the interest rate climate. We're hoping to get started soon.
Plus it's a great location. I mean, you are in
Insane.
the heart of our downtown. And if you live there, you're close to restaurants.
Yeah, I mean, we're excited. I personally live 5 minutes away from here, so I'm excited for it too.
Yeah, it's a great addition to the Cove on top of everything else that's happening, so.
Yep.
And I really do appreciate your color choice and that we're going away from all the poppy, crazy colors, because it looks like something that you'd see in higher end areas, so.
Appreciate it. We consulted with Brenda when we were doing the initial designs. She was the previous planner with the city, and we made sure that the city was happy with what we were proposing before we pursued further architecture.
Nice.
Can we see the exterior elevations just one more time? Thanks.
Oh, there.
Yeah, I'm sold.
Where is that green accent? Is that blue, teal?
Those are the front door units, the front doors of the units on the ground level.
Oh, I see that now. Okay.
And I believe that same color is on the patio doors. So when from the living room to the deck space on the second floor and third floor too, right here.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
No questions, no
Thank
comments?
you.
Thank you, guys.
We ready to make a motion?
Do we have anyone else in the audience who'd like to speak on this item? No further public comment.
Thank you. Close public comments. And can we get a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve.
You're going to have to minimize that so you can see it.
We jumped ahead. I was going to,
Sorry.
I had made comments. Yeah, I don't want to vote. I had made comments about
Yep.
solar protection. If we
Cancel.
kind of jumped ahead of,
Yeah, apologies.
no worries.
We can clear it.
Cancel.
Huh?
They canceled it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had asked that they take a look at the potential solar protection. That would be a condition.
So we'll make-
Committee Member Rivera, with regard to that south elevation, you are asking that they consider, could you rephrase what the request is so that I can make sure it's in the record?
Solar protection for those windows that were south facing.
Okay.
Actually, what I had said was consideration of solar protection.
Thank you.
So passing that on, so Planning Commission might take a second look at that.
Cool.
All right, that was it?
You first.
Okay.
We good to?
Can we get a motion on the table? No, we don't have a motion. The last one got canceled, so. There we go.
And in the motion, if you would mind including that condition for consideration, thank you.
Excellent.
All right. I know, it lags.
Thank you.
Apologies.
Thank you.
So let the record show a motion was made by Committee Member Rivera, seconded by Committee Member Haas, to approve Design Review 23-001 with conditions. It is approved 3-0, excuse me.
Thank you. Okay. Committee member comments.
I think I'm good.
Any staff comments?
You can introduce Tom. Okay. I do have just one item, and that is to introduce our new associate planner in the audience. It's Dominic Camp, and she started with us just last week.
Congratulations and welcome to the team.
And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Let's make a movement to adjourn
I'll make a move to adjourn.
Second.
at 5:07. We are adjourned.
We are adjourned.
Thank you.